it's working. I think it's working. I think it's working. Hey, vehemently flat. It's good to see you, brother or sister. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Yeesh. Need a microphone. Testing, testing. Need a microphone. Testing, testing. Need a microphone. Testing, testing. Need a I don't even know if the audio quality is good enough. I don't know what you guys hear compared to what I hear. That sucks. Let's try it out. Now you are Christ's body and individually members of it. For just as we have many members in one body, and all the members do not have the same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another. Same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another. same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another. So we who are many are one body. Members do not have the same function, so we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually members one of another. I really don't know whether the audio is just terrible on my end or whether it's terrible on the viewer's end as well. I'll share something that I wanted to share with all of you anyway, and then if the audio comes through in the video, then I'll keep the video up, and if not, I'll just take down the video and have to get a microphone or something for future streams and videos. I thought this was really interesting. So we're not hearing about Mars anymore or journeys to the moon or anything like that, but now they're allegedly planning their first mission to the sun, which is going to launch in 2018. They're going to wear they're going to wear a 5-inch coat of carbon composite solar shields. NASA's Parker Solar Probe will explore the sun's atmosphere in a mission that begins in the summer of 2018. This is just so funny. Some of these comments are great. It's just so funny what they're programming people with now. They're telling people that that a mission to the moon is impossible now, and that's 238,000 miles away. But they're planning their mission to the sun in 2018, which is 93 million miles away allegedly. So just doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you all saw these NASA fakeries as well. This one was pretty cool. You actually see this guy flying backwards and forwards on a harness, and part of his, just the harness with a, thought that was pretty cool. And this one as well, you clearly see that this is a model that they're using, and this guy's head, his forehead and his nose appear in the background, and you can see that to scale this is just a tiny model. It's so funny. Again, so sloppy. I don't know if you all saw that VR mistake as well, but that was classic as well. Yeah, vehemently flat. I'm just covering a few different things. If the audio is okay, I don't know. How well can you hear me right now? Because I was getting really high pitched screeching, and I don't know if that was because I was playing myself live at the same time, or what was going on. Yeah, I was talking about the mission that they had that they say they were going to the sun in 2018. Which is pretty funny. It was a CNN article as well, by the way, guys and girls, brothers and sisters. So yeah, I also just came out with uploaded a video of the What the Health vegan documentary. I saw that pretty recently. I thought that was really cool. there was just a couple of bits that I didn't like where they talked about, I put it in the description, where they talked about evolution and, you know, you see the globe or the oblate sphere at the beginning of the video, like you do most videos nowadays. But other than that, it was a very solid documentary. So definitely urge you all to watch that if you're not vegan. So the audio does suck for you as well. Why is it funny? Why is it funny that they're allegedly planning a mission to the sun, which is 93 million miles away, when they can't go back to the moon, which is 238,000 miles away? I think it's funny just because of how grand the claim is, how grandiose of a claim it is. It's ridiculous. In my mind, anyway. How well can you hear me, anyway? Because I don't know how well this audio is, how good this audio is. They can go to the moon, you misinterpret the statements. I don't think so. I've listened to lots of different NASA representatives talk, and they say they don't have the technology. They don't even know how they would get through the Van Allen radiation belts. In fact, they say that they didn't even realize they were going through them before, and that's how they went through them. But they wouldn't know how to go through them now. So yeah, it is pretty ridiculous. Do you honestly think they can send something 93 million miles away? No, you don't. You think they explained it well? I don't think I've ever seen NASA or any other space agency ever explain anything well. I'm not sure this is the channel for you if you think NASA and some of these other space agencies are ever making sense, or their claims are scientific, or that any of their space missions or telescopes or satellites or any of that holds up to scrutiny. I think you've got a lot of research to do if you think that they explain it well. I think the moon missions have been completely debunked at this point. The Challenger mission, I'm being dishonest. I'm not being dishonest. I'm telling the absolute truth. Well, thanks for coming, Negator, but I think you've got a lot of research to do when you're on a flat Earth channel, and you're arguing about whether the Earth is flat or not. I don't know. I don't know why you're here if that's what you think. Well, apparently they didn't get any radiation because none of them suffered from any radiation poisoning. So none, because they didn't know about it, so they got none. Right? You're here for the truth. Well, that's good. I would urge you to even though I can't wholeheartedly recommend ODD Reality, I would urge you to start with his 21 questions video and then look at his 3 documentaries in one on flat Earth, and you know, you got a lot of research to do. Basically, the Earth is flat. It's been proven. It's observable, testable, and repeatable. At this point, it's irrefutable, and so you probably shouldn't be on a flat Earth channel if you don't agree with that, or if you haven't even looked into it. But if you want to help me out and tell me how the audio sounds, that would be great. I just told you, they allegedly didn't get any radiation. They weren't affected by the radiation at all. None of them had radiation poisoning. They were all fine, and the reason they were fine was because they didn't realize that there was an Van Allen radiation belt and that they were going through it. So it's ridiculous. All of NASA is ridiculous. Have you not realized that yet? Nasha, it means to deceive. NASA is nothing but Freemasons and Nazis and all from World War II. It's allegedly had none. Cite me a source. Which astronaut do you think suffered from radiation poisoning? Which Freemason astronaut do you think suffered from radiation poisoning? Because as far as I know, not one Freemason astronaut said that they suffered from radiation poisoning. Well, if you look at how much, if you look at the Van Allen radiation belts, you shouldn't be able to go through them there and back and not suffer from radiation poisoning. This is... Now cite me your source. Okay. My source is that there's no curvature, and that that's proven and repeatable and testable and observable, and that everything else that they've ever done, NASA or any other space agency, is a farce, and it's very easily pulled apart under scrutiny. And if you're not going to do that scrutiny, if you're not going to research it yourself, then I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're on a Flat Earth channel that has been a Flat Earth channel for 1.5 years. I don't know why you're here. I didn't make anything up. I don't need to. The Earth is flat and stationary. I don't spend my time looking into things overly that aren't going to benefit my overall journey into truth. If I can prove the Earth is flat and stationary, why do I need to look in depth into the Van Allen radiation belts? For what purpose? It's like looking into the dome or the infinite plane. For why? For what else is that going to benefit me? It's not. I spend my time using the very limited research time I have on things that are going to further my knowledge. You just lied about it. No, I haven't lied about anything. I don't in-depth look into things that don't need to be looked in depth about. If you've proven the Earth is flat and stationary, then why does it matter how much radiation is in a Van Allen radiation belt? You tell me that. Why would it matter if the Earth is definitely, testably, observably, repeatably flat and stationary? That you can look over distances. No, I didn't. I said that none of them were affected by radiation poisoning. How's that a lie? None of them were. As far as I'm aware, none of them were affected by radiation poisoning. And the reason they said that they weren't affected was because they didn't know about it. And you can look that up. I don't have it offhand, and I'm not going to spend time doing the research for you. That's up for you. That's up to you to do. You clearly haven't done the science on curvature. You clearly haven't done the science on rotation. All of these things are fairly easily provable, and you haven't taken the time to do that. And instead are trolling a Flat Earth channel. So I don't know why you're doing that. I don't know why you're wasting my time and your time when this is very easily provable. I've been a flat earther for 1.5 years. There's been flat earthers for hundreds of years. There's been many flat earthers that came before me. It's very easy to do if you take the time and do it. And if you say you've done the research, well, I've heard people who tell me that they've done the research into things like fluoride and they still take fluoride. When people tell me that, I just tell them you haven't done the research, because if you had, you wouldn't be taking fluoride, and you wouldn't still think the Earth was an oblate spheroid, a pear, or a globe, or anything like that. Sure, buddy, you can believe that if you want. You can also believe that the people during the Challenger mission, the Freemason astronauts during the Challenger mission, died. You can believe that if you want. You can believe everything that they tell you. But I'm telling you, if you do the research yourself, if you prove these things for yourself, you will quickly see that you're not making any sense, that you've been deceived by Freemasons and Satanists, by Jesuits, by Zionists, by Talmudic Jews, who ultimately are all Satanists, and that they've deceived you into thinking that you live on an oblate spheroid, or a pear, or a globe. And it functions and it rotates within a heliocentric or acentric model. That's what you've been deceived into thinking, to take you away from the Creator and creation. And that's the bottom line, buddy. I'm not playing this game with you anymore. I've already more than explained my stance, and so I've given you all the tools that you need to find the truth for yourself, You clearly don't want to find the truth. I'm telling you that curvature and rotation, when looked at under scrutiny, it's very easily provable that they don't exist, so you live on a flat and stationary Earth. So, thanks for coming out anyway, Negator XX. I appreciate it. But I would urge you to start doing some research. Because the things that I'm talking about are easily provable, and that's why I talk about them. Because anyone can go and look at the Baphomet Agenda, anyone can go and look at Flat Earth, all the things that I've got, veganism, all these things are easily provable, they're easily testable, they're easily repeatable. And so anyone can do it. And I'm not lying, buddy. I am telling you the truth. You've either got to research it, or you're not going to research it. But I'll put you in a timeout. Timeout, buddy. Timeout. I don't even know what a timeout does, but you can just go sit in the corner for a little bit. Just a little bit. You can come back. Anyway, I still don't know how the audio is. Anybody want to tell me how good the audio is? If it's okay to continue, or if it sucks? I mean, this guy was arguing with me fairly effectively, so I'm guessing he could hear me okay. Hey, macaroon. Yeah, I put the troll in a timeout. I don't mind if he comes back. How are you? How are you doing? Audio is good. Great. That's awesome. How are you on this Friday evening? Macaroni? Macaroon? How are you? How's it going? What's happening? Just laying low. I'm alright. I'm good. I'm good. I did not think that my first viewer, my first proper viewer who was going to properly get at it was going to be was maybe not a troll, but somebody who's very confused. I'm good though. I'm very good. I'm glad you're here. Is there anything you wanted to talk about today? Because you got one-on-one time with me, so if you have anything you want to talk about, now's the time to let me know. Fat R. Thomas Jr. just commented saying, thank you for spreading the information. Thankfully, the world is waking up. Yes, thankfully indeed. And somebody just commented on part 3 saying, wonderful and enlightening videos. Keep up the great work. There is only one source of truth and peace. I should let them know to watch part 4. Very cool. No bad messages. Very nice. Apparently I can't send so many messages at once. Let me add, I'll just make you a moderator, and let's see if that changes your abilities to send messages. Hopefully that will work. I don't know. Well, maybe I didn't time this this live stream the best for Americans. Maybe I should have thought about that a bit better. But we can just consider this a testimony. Jonathan Kleck. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. Can't... Jonathan Kleck. What's the documentary called? It's not what the health, because that would be funny, but no, I don't think it is. There's a lot of very interesting info. That's cool. I'll check him out. But yeah, I don't know which Jonathan Kleck. Is it this one? Let's see. Jonathan Kleck, bell ringer for Jesus Christ. Jonathan's complete. Is this him? Blessed with a spiritual gift and prophetic utterance. Is that him? Oh, right, okay. So that's not him. Well, if you want to send me a link, I'll definitely check him out. Yeah, if you check out my part 4 of the Baphomet Agenda, how I feel about Jesus should become more clear. I only
anyone is guilty.
I only really talk about or I only really the audio. Can't speak. It's all scripture in part 4. So I will definitely check this out. Well, the scariest movie ever, who I am familiar with, says it's a masterpiece. Maybe that's where you found it from. Or maybe not. Well, I do have 578 subscribers, but I think the vast majority of them are from the US. So I think this is going to be a very one-on-one chat. I couldn't watch this. It's 3 hours and 40 minutes long. You're gonna take up my whole weekend with this video. Is it that good? 3 hours and 40 minutes. I don't think I've watched anything that long since The Greatest Story Never Told. I wouldn't watch that again. Poof, that was hard going. What do I want to talk about? Well, there was the few. I don't know if you saw, but there was the sun mission that I thought was funny. But yeah, you saw that from that troll. And then there was the NASA fakeries with this guy's head in the background, which I thought was hilarious. And this one where you've got with the harness. I don't know if you saw the VR, the virtual reality mistakes as well, but that was awesome. Where he's picking up the object and putting it back, but there's no object. Oh, so good. Me and one of my good friends or brothers were laughing about that for quite a while. What else do I want to talk about? That vegan documentary was really cool. I like talking about veganism, about health. It's so important because when you watch didn't see the VR one? Oh, I've gotta send you that. Wait, let me find that for you. I think it was on Glowbusters. I was gonna do like my top 5 favorite NASA fails, and then 2 of the ones that I just showed you would be on there, and then some bubbles in space, and maybe the Challenger mission where those astronauts, those Freemason astronauts, those Nazi astronauts didn't die, and then maybe also this one where there's a virtual reality mistake. But I'm just gonna type in virtual reality mistake NASA and see if it comes up. Who was it that? Did I even download it? Let me check. Was it this one? Check. Yeah, you're trying to
Hey guys,
now.
Tim's
yeah,
on. Hey Tim.
Always.
Tim, yeah, right here. The answer to that one, and the next,
and Tim slips his hand underneath his other fingers, which is tightly holding onto the mic, which would be impossible.
So yeah, this was
I don't think this is Tim's fault. Normally, Tim always moves his other fingers up while he slides his hand under. I just think the system didn't respond to his movements here. This picture here is actually Tim's fault. His hand breaches the 3D mic floating in front of him. In this next clip, we're going to see Tim's arms glitch out as he's manipulating a 3D bubble. Now, this bubble can be done in real time now. We have the technology to do that, which I showed you at the beginning of this. And this bubble is environmentally lit, or HDRI lit, by its environment, which means the bubble can take up its reflections and refractions as it moves around in 3D space in Tim's augmented reality. Once again, augmented VR just means bringing the 3D objects into our world on a separate monitor. In this last clip, we're going to see NASA royally screw up. It's a live broadcast, and one of their video channels is off, not working. That's the channel that is supposed to show us, the public, what the astronauts are seeing in virtual reality. Also, the channel shut off is the masking for the guy on the wires in the background. You can't make this stuff up. Just watch. We all know NASA uses wires, and sometimes we'll catch them like this here. The guy pulled on his wire. However, some days when you're filming live, things just don't work out, and it becomes so blatantly obvious, it's ridiculous. So, in this clip, they're talking, live feed.
There's the guy with the
and you know,
in the background.
We have a astronaut go by us in the background, obviously trying to give it a more realistic, spacey, station busy effect. The only problem is the camera that was supposed to mask this harness out, or the video feed, is not working. And so we see the guy come flying along. You see to the right, this guy's flipping this hat. This hat's actually on another video channel in 3D space. It's virtual reality. They're wearing augmented contact lenses so that they can interact with these 3D objects. Now, in this scene, the guy on the left in the green shirt, he thinks he sees an object in 3D space that's being broadcast to him. So he grabs it and he puts it off to the side. He's looking.
Are you seeing that? I don't know how well this is working. Are you seeing that, Macaroon? NASA's so full. I know, right? Hey, Activist News. Good to see you. NASA is full of doo-doo. That is correct. That should be blocked out. I don't know why that's not. But anyway. So you can see that, yeah? That's just, he's just picking up nothing and dropping
straight ahead because he's looking at an object rotating in front of him.
Oh,
but
boy.
The video channel is down that is supposed to show the viewers what we're supposed to see.
So yeah, this is just some of the stuff you get from NASA. Space travel is seated in Jewish mysticism as a Jewish site. High God. They are the synagogue of Satan. I would agree with that, but I always try to just call them Satanists, because ultimately, whether you're talking about Jesuits, Zionists, Nazis, Freemasons, Talmudic Jews, on and on and on and on and on, they're all Satanists, so that's what I prefer to call them. But I'm not in disagreement with the Activist News, and I appreciate you being here. How are you doing? Again, I don't know if I call it Judaism. I just call it Satanism. But maybe that's not a distinction worth making. I mean, I'm in lunch break. Be at work. That's pretty cool that you can watch a live stream like this at work, even at your slave work. That's pretty cool. When do you finish? What time zone are you in? Shouldn't you be finishing work soon? What else we got? Australia. Oh man, I don't want to have to do the math with an Australian to figure out when. Oh, and you're on night shift. I don't want to try and figure out how much longer is left in your shift. It's Friday night. I don't have quite the mental capacity to do that mathematic. You don't work. That's the way to do it. Probably should get a job. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Working paycheck to paycheck without a paycheck, so yeah. Or no regular paycheck anyway. Yeah, I must have overestimated how many people would be able to turn up. But I guess if somebody's willing to show up in his lunch shift, that's pretty damn cool. That's pretty cool. And I showed some cool stuff. And I guess if the audio's working, that means I might not have to buy a microphone for the next live stream. Although I really don't know how decent this audio is. People complain about the audio in the videos themselves, so I don't know how it's gonna turn out in a live stream. You know, maybe I should put this to big screen because I'm not doing anything. So can you see me properly now? I don't even know. And in the background, you've got my fridge and my huge lava lamp. I don't know how much of this you can see. And you've got a picture of, that's what my cousin drew for me, which I thought was cool. But yeah, the things I like to talk about most are really health and yeah, I'm pretty sad. I like to talk about conspiracies and stuff like that, the creator. The Book of Job reveals the reason for space travel. Yahuwah said we would not know the diameter of the Earth. Freemason instruments looking at Earth as a symbolic of Job's test. Yeah, they're always trying to mock or disprove the creator. In my, I don't know if you've seen my series on the Baphomet Agenda activist news, but if you haven't, I would really urge you to watch it, because I do really purport that Flat Earth and the Baphomet Agenda are the two greatest truths at opening someone's eyes, at really getting them to see reality closer to what it actually is. Not only that, but leading you back to the creator. I was an atheist or agnostic for 20 plus years, so things like Flat Earth and the Baphomet Agenda really, well, it was mostly Flat Earth actually, but they really lead you to the creator. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, please do. Please check out the Baphomet series, but watch it from part 1, because people who start on a different part, they don't quite get what's sometimes they get put off. So yeah, start on part 1. That'd be awesome. Very cool. I'll check out your channel after I'm done live streaming. Awesome. Well, the live stream's been worth it just for that activist news. Just for you subbing and letting me know about your channel. That's enough. And also for Macaroon checking me out, coming to hang out. As well as Mr. Troll at the beginning of the live stream. As well as, sorry, Vehemently Flat. You were here too. Don't forget you. What else would I want to talk about? So yeah, while I'm here, just some things that I advise to stay healthy. Distilled water. My distiller's over there. I had to turn it off mid-cycle because I was going live and I thought it would affect the audio too much. I will do. I will come and check your show out if I can. I'll see. But yeah. So distilled water, turmeric, B17, cannabis oil, and what's the 5th? I always forget the last one. No worries, dude. Peace out. Be well. May God bless you and yours. So yeah, distilled water, B17, turmeric, cannabis oil, and I heard good things about diatomaceous earth as well for heavy metal cleansing, you know, with all the no, not in your water. Cannabis oil, you just take a couple of drops and put it on your tongue every day or whatever, depending on how serious depending on how serious what you're trying to treat. If you've got full-blown cancer with tumors and stuff, you might start on higher doses. But yeah, on a plant-based diet, obviously veganism as well. So those would be my 5 things. And I'm sure there's other things that you can do. There's like Epsom salt baths for magnesium. There's all sorts of things you can do for health, but those 5 things really sort you out. And if you watch that vegan documentary that I recently uploaded, What the Health, you'll start to see why food and medicine are working together to keep us sick and make money off us and keep us unhealthy, so keep us in an acidic state. So these 5 things really help you to re-alkalize your body and sort of put your body in the best position to heal itself. I was off of it for a while and smoked a bit yesterday. It was trippy. I feel like it really opens up your mind up to the spirit realm. I'm assuming you're smoking cannabis, but I'm not sure. If you're smoking cannabis, I've never really had the trippiness that you mentioned. Although I do think cannabis is one of those things that breaks mind control. You can see that truth in plain sight in films like Cabin in the Woods, where the stoner is the only one who can see through the deception. And I would say that deception is very similar in that film to how hard it is to break through the deceptions of this world. And the pothead, whatever you want to call him, he was the only one who could see through it. And I do think cannabis breaks mind control. I do think it's a holy herb. It's given to us by the Creator. So in that way, I completely agree with you. I think it's a plant, a holy herb that was put here to cure everything, pretty much, to give us communion with the Creator. That's how I see it. What else do I want to talk about? I'll have to check out Jonathan Clark. That's this one, right? Yeah, I have to check out that, even though it's 3 hours and 40 minutes. Oh yeah, so I might do a video on those NASA fails and add a few more. I don't know how. See, unless you do a lot of research, you're not gonna know about things like the Challenger mission, like those astronauts or those Satanists. They didn't die. You're just not gonna know about that. And I suppose it's the same with Sandy Hook or something like that. Unless you're doing a lot of research, you're not gonna know the truth about an event like that. It's definitely helped me in the past. You can watch some of his shorter videos. No, I've got a decent attention span. I just, I've got to put my mind to it. If you say it's good, and there's some people in the, it's very highly rated, I'll check it out. I will watch it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the NASA video. Yeah, I think I might do a NASA fails video. There's been more than enough fails. Bubbles in space, VR mistakes, harnesses. Sets, you can clearly see that they're using models. Challenger mission where, you've got people who didn't die. So many mistakes. So I think that's definitely worth doing a NASA fails video at some point. I'm kind of sick of doing the Baphomet Agenda. I don't know. I thought there would be more people here who would be asking me about the Baphomet Agenda, but I honestly don't know if I'm going to do any more parts to that, unless I find out something that's eye-opening enough for me to want to share and look more into, because I think I've covered that agenda to death now. But a lot of people think it pervades even far more deeply than that on a very local level. Local attorneys, local teaching boards, local, local legislative body, just everywhere really. These elite gender inversions are much more pervasive and much more around than we thought they were. Even for us who know about the agenda in its somewhat entirety. What else? I went to a vegan festival not long ago. That was pretty cool. I was wearing this t-shirt because I don't really have the money to buy a flat earth shirt. So you can see it. Here you go. So I bought this. I didn't buy it. I made this. Flat earth. And I actually had one guy at the vegan festival come up to me and say, I like your shirt, man. Cool shirt. We didn't really chat because it was a very busy event. It was about vegan food and products and stuff like that, so it wasn't really the time or the place for me to chat with my flat earth brother, but it would have been cool. He looked like a cool guy. So yeah, they are out there. The flat earthers are out there. They're amongst us. They live amongst us. Yeah, Satan definitely does have his hand. It's his world, it's a fallen world, and we're not of this world, but we're in the world, and while we can't avoid his deceptions completely, we can try and see through them as best we can, and keep our connection to the Creator and walk the path as best we can, repent when we don't. That's what Part 4 was really all about, Part 4 of the Baphomet Agenda. Because Part 3 was so depressing, for lack of a better word. So when you really go deep into the Illuminati or Satanists masquerading as Freemasons, Zionists, Jesuits, Talmudic Jews, etc., etc., once you go really deep into that agenda, deep into Satanism, deep into pedophilia and cannibalism and blood drinking and sacrifices and just transgendering their children, once you go really deep into that, I felt like Part 4 had to be done, because to leave it on Part 3, just half the story, it's the story that they want. If you're going to find out about anything, find out about that, but don't connect it to the deeper truths in life, to the biggest most important truths. Flat earth, the creation, the Creator, Yahusha, the path, the walk through the narrow gate. Now I'm just recovering Part 3 and 4, but I think it's really important, so yeah. Do you get to spend much time outside, Macaroon, since you don't have a job? Are you able to spend time in nature, or what is your situation like? Are you housebound? Are you able to enjoy the chemtrailed air, the geoengineered air, the blocked sun? I think next time we'll just do Skype calls or something as well. I wasn't sure how the audio would feed back through from coming out and then back in. But we might do Skype calls. I'd like to actually chat with you all. I mean, I don't know how you'd feel about that, but I'd like to. Why not? I get outside every day. Haha, engineered. Wow, yeah. Heavy metals, barium, strontium, aluminum, DNA, nanoparticulates. Goodness knows what's in the chemtrails. Yeah? Well, they're pretty bad in the UK. I can say that. I'm looking outside and it's pretty shocking. And it's like that pretty much every day. Right, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm in the UK. Scotland. Yeah, it's always pretty bad here. Every day. You'd be lucky if you get one day every 2 weeks or something, where you see some proper sunshine, where it's not blocked or severely obscured. It's pretty shocking. Pretty depressing. I actually have a sad lamp, which is what's illuminating this room right now. It's a seasonal affective disorder lamp, and it helps with mimicking the sun, but ideally I'd have like a UV lamp, ones that you'd grow indoor plants with, because they actually mimic the sun a lot better, but I don't know how, they're very expensive to run, so I don't know. Oh, it's good that you get to go outside every day. That's awesome. It's usually too wet or grim here to really want to go outside. But actually, I'm going down south in a few weeks to see my little goddaughter. So she's turning 1. So that's gonna be nice, and hopefully in that area that we're gonna be in, that will be much nicer weather. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. They actually just became vegans, so the goddaughter's parents just became vegan, and they're slowly transitioning their 1-year-old, and they went vegan about 3 weeks ago, and they're gonna be fully vegan for about 6 weeks before we see them. So we're expecting big changes. They were quite unhealthy, so like we all are, or like we all were. So it's gonna be great to see them. I'm really looking forward to it. Other than that, what else? As for future videos, the only thing that I have planned is the NASA fails video. I also had a video on Dragon Ball Z planned, actually, which is, you might think that, well, Dragon Ball Z, isn't that old cartoon or that old anime? Yeah, that's the one. I used to watch it when I was a child, and I rewatched it with my love, my fiance, and then when we were still asleep, not awake or not awake, and then we watched it again when we were awake, and there was just so much stuff in there, so much stuff. I don't know if I should find you at least some of it. It's pretty. I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to actually do the video. I don't know what the future of this channel will be, so maybe I should just show it to you now, just in case, because I do think it's worth looking at. Right, so I have to change to this, don't I? So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen. So yeah, I thought this still was interesting. So you've got Vegeta here going Super Saiyan, and then you've got these lines of convergence ending on the flat Earth horizon. And then you've got this image here, which is like one of these small planetoids, and it just shows you the ridiculousness of and the gravity on this is, gravity. The gravity on this little planetoid is so funny, and it, you see them running around and around and around. It's just hilarious. I thought these were interesting just because this is how the mesas could have been formed if you're a subscriber of this like giant forest on flat Earth or whatever, or one giant tree, or many trees, or roots even. Some of these could have just been roots of the singular large tree, the large tree of life, or whatever. I don't know, but this energy beam cuts through it perfectly. I just found that really interesting. Again, you have the lines of convergence on a. It's on a plane Earth, but this is a plane Earth around it, like an actual plate. So then you can see the curve. So it's almost like it's showing you the curve. The curve to the Earth, as some people see it, but it's really the edge of maybe the edge of the plate with the lines of convergence still. I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah, they've got a character in there called Mr. Satan, which is pretty interesting. On the front cover, in every opening intro, you've got the 666 and the Satan, which is, you'll also be able to see NASA in there if you've done your research, but anyway. So you've got the 666, the 666, and what was in this still? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, this was about this, yeah. The funny thing about this show is that these characters, these humans, they really don't see the heroes of the show as heroes. They deny it to the end, and they call it, tricks or fake news, or it's very funny how it's almost mirroring how hard it is to wake somebody up, like similar into They Live, where he's trying to get him to put on the glasses, but he just won't put on the glasses. It can be extremely difficult. Everybody's afraid, no, don't, because he just wants to help this girl by giving her a bean, which is like a magic bean that heals people, the sensu bean or whatever. And then she's fine, and they're still shocked. And even when they see it, and this is not the first time that they've, that the heroes have confirmed themselves as heroes, with testable, observable, repeatable stuff. And so this is what this is really hinting at, that basically people can see testable, observable, repeatable science that goes against their existing belief system, but because of the cognitive dissonance, because of the sheer paradigm shift that would follow if they were to go ahead with that line of thinking or that line of questioning, they suffer from doublethink, or they just deny it and dismiss it, even though deep down they know the truth. So yeah, the spreaders of the undiluted truth are just trying to give their loved ones a sense of being the truth. The doctors will not tell you, your father will not tell you, yeah. So, but Vidal just says, I know it will help if you say it will. So this is basically, I think this is hinting at basically getting back to the word, and getting back to trusting the Father and the Son, and basically ridding yourself of all this man-made doctrine. Lots of colors where orange, you've got the MM brothers, MM, if you've done some research, that signifies 33 a lot. You've also got Capsule Corp, so you've got these MM guys, you've got the Capsule Corp CC, which is again 33. Hopefully I don't have to go over why 33 is important. The guys who have the MM on their foreheads, so they have these marks on their foreheads, they're mind controlled completely. As long as the body is intact, they will carry out the orders. Only those strong of will or righteous have the ability or chance to fight this control. So it's very amazing how this wizard, who I guess would be a personification of the devil, using mind control, and only those righteous or those of extremely strong will have the ability or chance to fight that control, or those pure of heart, free from evil desires. So, and they will have the mark on their right hand or in their forehead. So I just found it interesting that anyone who's mind controlled has this mark on their forehead, as well as this guy here. He's also even looks like a demon king. He's called the Demon King. There's also Mighty Mask, which is again another character in the show, and he's MM. As you can see, there's another guy there with an M on his forehead. But this is the wizard, and he doesn't have an M on his forehead because he's not mind controlling himself. And so, as the show progresses, no matter how often certain characters see the truth, Satan, Mr. Satan, or Vidal, his daughter, or their friends, etc., they will explain the main character's powers away by calling them magic tricks. So it's just a clear example of cognitive dissonance, or believing what you want to believe, or doublethink, or whatever you want to call it. It also highlights the rigged sports element as well, showing different sporting events and how they're rigged, and yeah, basically how the media is nothing but fake news, which was pretty interesting. What is this? Oh, this was a comment that I found interesting. I don't know if you can see that, but basically it's a comment with 48 upvotes that says flat earthers need to be gassed. So I don't know what you make of that, but anyway. Oh, sorry, Zion. My bad. I went off on a little tangent. Yeah, so anyway, that was a little dive. There was other Word documents that I had with other things about Dragon Ball Z, but that's just a little taster. It was fascinating to look at and to deconstruct. Am I a flat earther? If you look at the top left hand corner, there should be a flat earth. There should be a big flat earth label there. Yeah, I never really liked sports. I like playing sports. Playing football. I was a big football player when I was younger, and I enjoyed it a lot. I can still do probably over 100 kick-ups, but yeah, never one to watch it. It's another thing I steered clear from. I think a lot of us have this innate sense of what is satanic programming and what isn't. I know it all is, kind of, but we kind of have this innate sense, and then we slowly get desensitized. We slowly, in our quest to conform, in our quest to avoid ostracization, which I never really cared about. I just lost friends and kept my friendship group small. But yeah, most people in their quest to conform will lose their identity, or will gain a mask and forget that they wear it. well, sorry Zion, that was my bad. Somebody came and went. Oh well. So yeah, that was the Dragon Ball. I don't know what else. Comments. What else do I want to talk about quickly? I've already been live an hour, so I don't know. What else can we talk about? I was hoping that people would have questions, but I thought there would be more people. But I was hoping people would have questions or things that they'd want to talk about. Yeah, I feel that. 0 close friends. That's ouch. I mean, you. Yeah. I don't really have any either, other than my love and a family member, which I consider a brother, but he's not my brother. But I'd call him my brother. But other than that, it's pretty lonely. FEMA equals flat earth mental asylum. Well, you are half right there, brother. The FEMA camps will be full of flat earthers, I can guarantee that, because we'll be the first rounded up, no doubt. But if you think you live on a globe, you've got a lot of research to do, sir. Curvature and rotation, 2 very easy places to go to prove that you live on a flat and stationary plane. If you want somewhere to check out, well, I don't wholeheartedly recommend ODD Reality, and you can go through my videos and see why I don't recommend him. I will say that his 21 questions video, ODD Reality, 21 questions, is a very good video. His 3 series in one, his 3 documentaries in one on Flat Earth, they're also very good. If you watch both of those, the 21 questions video and the 3 documentaries in one, ODD Reality, you watch those 2 things, or 4 things, depending on how you add it up, and you still think you live on a globe, or an oblate spheroid, or a pear, then come see me. But otherwise, you just need to do more research. I put Flat Earth, Baphomet Agenda, Veganism, and Truth because in the top corners because if you're not on board with those, then this probably isn't the live stream for you or the channel for you. I mean, I am trying to lead you to those things, and you're more than welcome here. But if you still honestly think you live on a globe, yeah, probably not the place for you. Other channels, figure that stuff out. Other channels where you can research that, or other places. There's even I mean, Flat Earth is such an interesting topic to research. I mean, when you read some of the documents, like the documents from NASA and stuff, where they're talking about how they fly planes over a flat and non-rotating Earth, I mean, some of this stuff just smacks you in the face. It's like they don't even try to hide this, or their top rocket scientist, Werner von Braun, on his tombstone, he had one of the Psalms talking about the firmament. I mean, they put this stuff in plain sight. They all wear their Freemason rings. I mean, there's so much to it. But it all leads back to Satanism, really. Whether you're looking at Flat Earth or the Baphomet Agenda or geoengineering or whatever topic you look at, it all takes you back to Satanism. Unfortunately, it's not the funnest topic to research, really. Not at all. I don't think I've had one real question. Anybody want to ask anything? I don't think I know everything, but I thought I would have had some questions. Perhaps. I mean, it's just me here. I was never going to have anyone else here, so it was just me and the subscribers who showed up, who wanted to talk. That's why I'm here. So, Cullen Smith has a lot of interesting info regarding health and exposing the Baphomet Agenda. I watched one yesterday where he was recommending we start taking cold showers. Yeah, cold showers. Yeah, I actually sleep on the floor without in just a sleeping bag, or without that even, just because from my research beds are not great, and I would agree with the shower thing as well. Can you explain why the stars in the northern hemisphere and hemisphere move in the same directions from there? It looks like they're going to the opposite. Can you explain why everyone thinks we live on a bowl when there is no measurable curvature? or rotation. Can you explain that? I mean, once you've proven that the Earth is flat and stationary, everything else is secondary. You can prove that. Anyone can. Everyone who's done this experiment, or done one of the experiments, has realized it's flat and stationary. So, why do you care about stars, man? Nice, I used to sleep on the floor too. I went back to my bed for some reason, but I think I'm just having a hard time discerning what to follow. Yeah, you know, I had this thing. I'll tell you, you know, that, what you just said just clicked so much with me, because I had the same thing. You know, I was reading the Old Testament and the New Testament, or the Tanakh, and I was, you know, it's talking about long hair. And I've done a lot of research into long hair, and how that's part of our nervous system, and how the Native Americans, they were recruited into the army, and when they cut their hair for the army regulations, they lost that connection to be able to, that sixth sense or whatever. Maybe it's a creator given sense that through our hair we can sense these things. I don't know, but I go back and forth on it. I don't know if it's better to have short hair or long hair. I don't know what is more correct. I don't know if it doesn't matter at all. You know. But the floor thing I'm more sure on. I've been sleeping on the floor a long time, and I really do recommend it. It's you know, there's real science behind it. When you sleep on a hard surface, your muscles have to adapt to that sleeping on the hard surface, which allows your spine and your spinal column, your bones, it allows them all to relax while your muscles aren't relaxed. Whereas if it's the opposite, if you're sleeping on a soft surface, your muscles relax, which means that your spine and everything else has to do the work. So, you know, when you sleep outside, you sleep on a hard surface. So, well, if you're not taking some of Babylon luxuries with you, you know. That Babylon luxuries thing comes from a friend of mine. That's what he calls them. So I think it's a funny way of talking about it. So, and he was referring to a megabus journey, and how being able to use the toilet on the megabus is a Babylon luxury, or something like that. It was funny. Or having electricity and internet. I feel that is true about the hairs, and dreadlocks can be dangerous because it's like tangling up our wires. Ooh, I don't know about that. That's an interesting way of looking at it. Although I will say that of all the people out there, the Rastafarians are probably the people I resonate most with their music, their way of life, Ital, healthy living, you know, veganism, mostly veganism. You know, there's others, the Amish or whatever. There's other people out there that were Native Americans even. There's other areas of life, but the Rastas are up there. But that's an interesting thought. That's a very interesting thought, that the dreadlocks. And I mean, I don't see that with them particularly. They seem to be generally more awake than other groups. If you want to sort of look at groups like that, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, it's hard to discern sometimes. I will say though that the last time I was letting my hair grow long, it got very bothersome, and I went back to my Tanakh, back to my Bible, and it told me to cut it basically. So that's why I cut it. I don't know. Maybe next time I'll end up growing it and not have that same thing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It wasn't that strict on hair really. It didn't seem to matter that much, but I do find it interesting. You know, when you look at things like Avatar, the hair is a really important part of their world and how they connect with the trees and with everything else. And Avatar seemed to be quite a prophetic film, or quite a film rich in predictive programming, rich in just programming in general, rich in truths. So, who knows how much of it is true? You know, you have sentient trees that store knowledge, who knows? You know, now people say water can hold knowledge and, you know, feel emotion. I mean, there's all sorts of new areas of research that are mind-blowing, and, you know, until I've seen enough tertiary evidence, or I've you know, done the experiments myself, you know, it can be hard to tell. And even if you were to get some benefit from long hair, I don't even, you know, it's hard to say that that's a benefit that you're meant to have, you know. a lot of people, you know, a lot of the Satanists out there who drink children's blood or drink their own children's blood, and they get stronger for it, and they think it, you know, I think it's good for them, and that's obviously not of the Creator. So even if something benefits you, it doesn't necessarily mean it's of the Creator. So, and I don't think drinking blood benefits you overall. So I'm not gonna, you know, I hope that's not what it sounded like, but they do think that. They do think it benefits them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. So yeah. I did not think we'd be going on to those sorts of topics, but heyo. Anybody have a question? Comment? It's a funny one. Yeah, and I'll check out Colin Smith. Because that sounds like the kind of channel that I would be highlighting on mine. I only highlight Truth Unveiled 777 at the moment. It's the only channel I point to. He actually recently came out with a video on the Baphomet Agenda, which is great. Do you believe in heaven and hell? I don't. I try not to believe in anything, and that's what I would urge you to do. Because believe, it has the word lie in it. That's what I would advise. Don't believe in anything. Prove all things. Seek the Creator in all things. Get back to the Word. Prove it. That's what I would tell you. That's good. Yeah. I'll check him out, definitely. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's what I try to do, so. If he's on that mission, if he's on that same mission, if he's not, you know, omitting truth or holding back like some others that I've had to call out, then that's what I want, you know? I want people who are on that same mission as me. What else? Well, we've been up over an hour. I think it was a pretty cool live stream. I had fun, and maybe we'll do it on a Sunday night or something, and then we can maybe get some people from the UK and from US. If I do it on a Sunday evening at like 9, that should leave the US people enough time. We should give them ample opportunity. So yeah, if you have anything else you want to say, now's the time. I can be here for a few more minutes. I can be here for longer, but you know, unless there's things that you really want to talk about, I think we'll just leave it for the next live stream. And yeah, look out. Watch that that What the Health documentary. Anybody who's listening to me right now, watch that What the Health documentary. It will not waste your time. It will not be a waste. It's very informative. Your health is in your hands. It's in all of our hands. The animals are in our hands. The plane is on our hands. So yeah. What's question mark, Stephen? What's up? Your question is just question? Just question mark? What's your question? What's your question, brother? Just question mark. Alright. Alrighty. Not much. What's your question? Not much. Okay. How are you doing? If you don't have a question, how are you doing? Why would you be muted in chat? You're not the troll from earlier, are you? No, that was someone else. Why would you be muted? think. Is there anything else that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do at a future date? So let's see. Is there anything in here that I want to share with you guys? Let's see. Why not? Why not cover some of the things that I was going to write a book about? Why not? Alright. So, hopefully all of you know about the central banks, about the Federal Reserve, and all the central banks of almost every country in the world, bar about 3, maybe 2, maybe 4, somewhere around there. They're all controlled. They're all controlled by the same families, same bloodlines. Hopefully you all know the difference between legal and lawful. If you don't, laws come from the Creator, legal statutes come from men, and legal statutes change all the time, laws do not. So that's the difference between legal and lawful. Hopefully you know what your straw man is, you know, your birth certificate, your, in all capitals, name. So the way that the straw man works, your straw man is an artificial person created by law at the time of your birth. The inscription of an all capital letters name on your birth certificate / document, which is a document of title and negotiable instrument. So your straw man was created when your mother or father, probably your mother, signed your birth certificate. It is very useful to the ruling elite and the key to your freedom. All contracts are made upon your straw man, usually without your knowledge. They do this through our ignorance of our straw man and legalese. Legalese being a secret language invented to trick you. It uses English words but attaches secret meanings to those words with the sole intention of stopping you believing that what they are saying to you has nothing to do with the normal meaning in the English language. So, through this language of legalese, any authority can try to apply contracts to your straw man. For example, when a police officer asks you, "Do you understand?" he is actually asking you in legalese whether you stand under his authority. By replying yes, you confirm that you do, and he or she can apply contracts to your straw man. The system relies on your ignorance of the secret language of legalese that seems to match up with English, but is used to deceive and manipulate. So our very words, our very language is another tool for deception, because it's mirrored after another language which takes precedence over English. Legalese is the actual language, and so that's how that works. So you can see that the difference between legal and lawful, war is legal, and cannabis is lawful. So that's how those two things work, basically. Police, military, courts, and countries around the world are largely controlled by the ruling elite through their secret society networks, because they are an internet-connected network of Satanists masquerading as Freemasons, Zionists, Jesuits, Talmudic Jews, etc., etc. As somebody in the comments mentioned earlier, when he was talking about his slave job, or whatever he was saying, his slave work, taxation is enforced worldwide through violence or the threat of violence. We're ultimately debt slaves. So that when you look at a country like the US, it's over somewhere in the region of $20 trillion. I think it's much more than that, but $20 trillion in debt, that's a lot of debt. And that applies to every man, woman. So it's very easy to be manipulated by authority, in quotation marks, using legalese. It will often sound like a question in English, but it will have a different manipulative meaning in legalese. Here's a quote by William Casey, CIA director. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. And it's not just the American public, it's everyone in the world. So everything that people believe is pretty much false. Almost everything you've ever learnt and held dear, from Santa Claus all the way up to the globe, it's all a big deception. And the Fed, yes. Does the IRS accept lead? I'm not sure what you mean, brother. So yeah, we're just propaganda. We live in a propaganda echo chamber, It's everywhere. It's in approved education, it's mainstream media, it's alternative media, science, business, politics, popular culture. It's literally everywhere. Propaganda, deception. It's easier to fool the people than to convince them they have been fooled. It's a quote by Mark Twain. Once they have been convinced through drip-fed, manufactured programming, it is extremely difficult to then show them it was a lie. If you've seen the film They Live, you will understand when the two main characters have the longest fight scene ever made. The scene was to illustrate how difficult it is to wake someone up, to get them to see through something that they don't want to see through, to get them to consider another possibility, to engage without the ego. You know, I've been called every ad hominem you can think of. By loved ones as well, and they're all suffering from cognitive dissonance. It's very common for those indoctrinated to lash out. This is expected and could be called a normal reaction. All of these streams of propaganda come together to indoctrinate the masses into the ruling elite's molds of what they want groups of people to think, creating division and chaos. Order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. The Hegelian dialect. If you are unfamiliar with any of these terms, doublethink. I really, really strongly urge you to go look into these, because this is the very ways that they shift and mold and lead the people into their dystopian future, into their new world order, into their satanic. You know, we're already in it, but you know, we're like frogs being boiled alive, so it will continue. The teenage years are a myth. Look into it. I have no idea what that means. I'll have to look that up, brother, because I don't even know what that could mean. That's almost like when somebody told me there are no trees on flat Earth or whatever. I didn't even know where that was gonna go. This is kind of like this. I have no idea where this could even take me, but I will check it out because I recognize the name, and I'm glad you're here. How you doing, brother or sister? I'll continue for a bit. Through this understanding of how the ruling elite work, you'll begin to see how this has inevitably changed you and your ways of thinking. This is mostly done through fear-based programming. Identification of this is the first step to achieving higher consciousness. The vibration of fear keeps the masses in an easily controlled state, unable to achieve higher consciousness. For most humans, fear is the main driver in their life. Fear often manifests in anxiety, often ultimately derived from what others are thinking of you. This needs to be overcome through identification, reflection, and reprogramming. By going through this, you will then start to be driven by love and not fear. And this propaganda links in with mind control, which I'll talk about a bit later. So yeah, this concept of doublethink is demonstrated perfectly in the book 1984, and is described as the acceptance of contrary opinions or beliefs at the same time, especially as a result of political indoctrination. So you've got two opposing belief systems that you both hold to be true, but they contradict each other. Most people out there are suffering from so much doublethink. It's unbelievable. Science, or scientism, has become extremely useful to the ruling elite in terms of propaganda. It is supposed to be a systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations and predictions about the universe. It has, however, been replaced with what I call scientism. It masquerades as science but relies on theories, unproven mathematics, dogma, and fakery to manipulate the masses. For many people, including myself, those reasons were enough to convince me that humans have gone to the moon and the Earth is a globe or an oblate spheroid or a pear. After much scrutiny, though, the moon landing and the globe became nothing more than hoaxes, perpetrated by the elite and perpetuated through propaganda and the masses who come to believe it. So this is why I really don't, on a side note, this is why I really don't focus on the shill topic, right? Because whether you're a shill or you're parroting a shill, it sounds the exact same. So 18 is 666, 6 plus 6 equals... Okay, I will do. I'll check it out. I need to look into it a lot. You know, I don't bring out videos unless I've really taken them, you know, unless I've really done the research into the topic and can speak on it with some authority. I don't like to put my opinion out there unless I've done the research. You know, I've done my due diligence. So we've also got the illusion of control. Your vote doesn't matter, selections, not elections. Hopefully you all know that every president in the United States is related to each other, or bar one, I think. bar 2, I think it's bar 1. They're all related. They're all part of the same Skull and Bone Society. They're all part of the same secret societies. Hopefully, you all know that you know, especially in the U.S., but all around the world, you're not. Your vote doesn't matter. And when you vote, you're actually consenting to their system of control. So that's all your vote does. It just says you're okay with another round of rulers. So don't vote, guys and girls. What else? What else do I want to talk about? Yeah, I'll check it out this weekend, and I'll see what I think about it. Thanks for sharing, Age Anonymous. How are you doing anyway, brother? Are you alright? I'm assuming you're a brother, but maybe you're a sister. Maybe I shouldn't assume. Just make an ass out of you and me. Are you doing well? You've been a subscriber a long time. I think you've been here since my Illuminati card game video. I'm doing well, man. I've had a good chat with some of you guys. It's been good. And girls. I keep saying guys. With some of you brothers and sisters out there. Yeah, I've had a good chat. It's been good. I thought when that troll first came out, I thought this is not going to be good, but it's gone okay. I've got a lot of things to check out. You know, I've probably learned more from you the viewers today than you've learned from me. I've got a lot of different things to check out because of you, so I'm very grateful. If you have anything else to share with me, anything else, if somebody had come to me, a year earlier and laid out the Baphomet Agenda to me, I could have come out with that series a year earlier. So, if there's anything that you know about that I don't know about, let me know. If there's something significant that I should be covering, let me know. In some of my videos, I showed how I've messaged different YouTubers and how, that's then given them the push to bring out their own videos. It's important to communicate and to share ideas and speak out, speak up. I found the Livestream app for my channel. A Livestream app? I'm not sure what that means. I think all channels can live stream unless you've been blocked from live streaming. What do you all think of my lava lamp? I turned it on so that you'd be able to see it, but I don't think it's properly on yet. But I did that for you. For all of you, so you can have a nice little lava lamp view. It's kind of cool. It's a big one. Yeah, you were a sub a long time ago. Yeah, I'm glad you're still here. How did you find the Baphomet Agenda? I don't remember you commenting on the Baphomet Agenda. Yes, it is. Flat Earth creation, definitely. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Point straight to the crater. So does the Baphomet Agenda. What did you think about the Baphomet Agenda? Because I don't remember you commenting. Maybe you did. I've had a lot of comments. I've had over 30,000 views on the Baphomet series. So I don't remember everyone who commented. Did you watch the Baphomet series? What did you think? I think it's just as eye-opening and just as it points almost as much to the crater as Flat Earth. Right, yeah. YouTube gaming. I don't know if that's just are you planning on gaming? I don't know if you think so. You haven't seen the Baphomet series. Well, I would strongly urge you to watch it, starting with part 1 if you haven't. It's eye-opening, and it's extremely pervasive. That's why I put Flat Earth, Baphomet Agenda, Veganism, and Truth in the corners, because they're kind of the most important. Oh, YouTube gaming is for the screen. Okay, cool. I don't know even how I'm streaming. You know, I just kind of... I'm using OBS, and I just went to stream now. I set up a scheduled stream, and then started streaming from OBS. It seems fairly easy to do, and it's just the audio that sucked at the beginning. But I don't know how good is the audio. Is this decent audio, or a lot of people complain about the audio even in the videos. So it's just my old laptop. There's no microphone. It's just a speaker, you know. Well, there is a microphone in the laptop, but there's no specialized equipment. So it is what it is. Yes, it's okay, or yes, it sucks. See if there's any more of that 10 truths I wanted to share with you. No, it's good, good. Well, unless, I'll definitely check all those things out that everybody shared. I'm really grateful that you shared all that. And if there's any more stuff, keep sharing. I want, you know, keep spreading the love. If there's any topics or YouTubers or things I should know about, I really appreciate you sending them my way. And next time I'll do the stream on a time that's more US friendly. I thought they were about 60% US, but maybe it's more like 90% US. That's cool. I'm going away this weekend, so maybe I'll stream this weekend. I'll check it out if you do. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you, but I'll subscribe to you and I'll check it out. And yeah, hopefully in the next live stream there'll be some more questions or some more interesting topics of discussion. I'll also talk about predictive programming. If anybody's spotted some interesting predictive programming recently, you know, I've shared things about the Trump assassination and in The Simpsons and Lucifer, the TV show, predictive programming about, you know, all sorts of things that are likely to happen. So if you have anything that you spotted, that would be awesome to share. Anything to do with health, or Flat Earth, or the Baphomet Agenda, or just conspiracy in general, really. Let me know. But yeah, I think otherwise I am signing out for now. It was great seeing you all. Much love, and may God bless you and yours. Thanks for coming, everyone. Yeah, it's so important that this all points to a creator, and not evolve but devolve from a higher state of being. Yes, yes, yes. Jonathan talks about how we were angels birthed into serpent's skin. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a metaphor or if that's a literal thing. I'll have to look more into that. Yes, thank you, Age Anonymous. Have a nice day too. Yeah. Bless you all. May I bless you all. Alright, I'm out. Peace.